Hello fellow YouTubers, today's review will be on my Cyma Mp5 Gsg5. Now to start off with a brief history of this weapon, it was adopted in 1964 and made by Heckler & Koch for the German Special Forces, Army, Border Patrol, and German Police. This is basically a scaled down G3 assault rifle in the 9mm configuration with the same delayed blowback system as the G3. It shoots 800 plus rounds a minute. Effective range is 100 yards. Its weapon is a big fan amongst SAS. They use it for CQB mainly from 20 feet, from 0 to 20 feet, but enough about that. Let's get on to the airsoft version. This particular Mp5 is blowback and has a full metal upper receiver, plastic lower receiver. It's really good metal, real good quality. It's really strong, sturdy. The lower receiver is really thick plastic. This weapon originally started as the Cyma CM041B. Basically, it didn't have this full stock. It had the UMP stock that folded over, and I didn't like that particular stock, so I had to sell my ICS M4, and the money that I got from my ICS, I paid some bills, and I had some left over, and I bought this from a buddy of mine. And I was looking at it, I was like, that's an Mp5 Gsg5, that should have the side folding stock. Well, it didn't. He had put this on and wired it to the back to accommodate a large type battery. It has an 8.4 volt NiCad 1800 mile battery. I've yet to kill it. And when I chronoed this thing, it was shooting like way too hot. It was like 390 to 385 on 0.20 gram BBs. And I was like, nah, I can't do that. So he dropped in a lower spring, low resistant wiring, Dean's connectors, and a MosFet. And now it shoots at 331 consistently on 0.20 gram BBs, which is awesome. It's perfectly CQB legal. This is where the battery used to be stored, right here in the handguard. If you were to push that pin out and this would slide off. Since the battery is no longer stored there, it was really wobbly, so I shimmed it out with some tape to really tighten it up, and is no longer loose. Here's the full metal detachable QD flash hider. You pull that little lever right there and it slides right on off. At the rear you have your typical H&K drum sights, you know, different variations of holes, and it clicks really positive into place. It has 4 different apertures on it. I really don't use it. I mount it on the UTG high-rise mount and an MC Star reflex sight. It has 4 reticles, and I wear a full face mask, so this works out perfectly for me. I'll show you the selector switch. It doesn't have like the Navy or the ESF lower or the 94 lower. It has, that is safe, semi, and full, and it clicks very positively in place. I like this version better because of my buddy. When he put on this full stock, to me it balances the weapon better, so you don't have too much weight in the front or too much weight in the rear. It's actually really balanced out. I added my own sling point right here to accommodate my 1-point sling. Flip it over on the other side and show you the blowback feature, which is really cool. It gives this weapon really good recoil. Here's semi-auto, full auto. It's got a really good rate of fire too. I think this one particularly has 750 to 800 rounds per minute. Now to adjust your hop up, you pull back your charging handle, and this little lever right here, this way is more hop, that way is less hop. And the cool thing about this is if you lock this back, you can still shoot this and adjust your hop up, so when you're done, just let it lock forward. And another thing I like about this blowback is, you know how you're supposed to reset your spring when you've been shooting in full auto? Well, sometimes it'll sit like this, and that means you need to shoot it once in semi-auto, which is a good indication that you need to reset your spring, and when you do, it'll lock back forward. Standard Gsg 200 round mag. The mag wheel on this particular MP5 is weird. I had to shim it out with a little bit of tape. I don't know if that'll work on every mag, as I have yet to try, but this particular mag I had to shim it out. And I also have the UTG dual mags that hold 400 rounds, and I had to shim that out to make it work. But other than that, it's very little wobble. This particular gun is accurate, surprisingly accurate for a short barreled AEG. I was able to acquire targets out to 150 feet easily with this particular model. I think it's because this one is supposedly a GNG clone. I'm not sure, but it's sporting a, what is it, a 604 TB barrel, if I'm not mistaken. And it's 8 inches long. The barrel starts here and goes all the way to the, not here, but like right about here inside the flash hider. Well, I think about that covers it for the review. If you have any questions, please leave them at the bottom, and I'll try to get back to them as soon as possible. Please rate, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. King D signing off.